live.
You
So,
know, countdown. Because I'm used to a countdown so I can ease into it.
no, we don't do no countdowns here.
You just throwing me into the pot. I don't get no ease here.
No, ma'am, no countdowns here. But I wanted to tell you, shortly after we did a stream for the Mahogany Project, I went out and I checked out Pride in Houston. And I didn't, well, first off, I thought all the Pride stuff got delayed.
It actually, so this is like breaking news, but there will be a parade, but there will be no festival. That's actually like breaking news.
Okay.
So there will be a parade in September. There just won't be a festival because of some things that are happening, but that's, yeah.
Okay.
Very, very interesting stuff.
Cool. Well, look, whatever they had down there in Montrose, I didn't expect it to be like popping like that because I thought the whole shebang bang was delayed, but apparently it wasn't.
Did you actually go during Pride weekend?
Yeah, I was down there at the last weekend of the month.
Okay.
So I was down there. I'm just like, man, let's get out and go see what's happening. And like, I didn't expect it to be like, they had the stages and all these performances, and
The crazy thing is I think it was good, but I just wish that the setup was a little. I wish that there was more unity and cohesiveness.
But it did look like it was just like a bunch of bars throwing events.
Like what they should have did was they need somebody that's a super planner, but they should have literally blocked off that entire area and just had a block party. Like I think that would have been a little bit more effective and more kind of made more of an impact. I feel like it was just everybody kind of doing their own thing, and I think that would have been a lot funner instead of having to go to every bar event. Like that's I don't know. But it was a lot of people out.
It definitely was. It was pretty fucking crazy out there. And it was just crazy, and all of the drama. Had all the drama.
All of the drama. All of the drama for you?
Oh, there was always something wrong, between like I ended up I helped a friend like find her car because, she had too much. She was like, oh my God, we're, getting dramatic. Oh my God, where's my car? Where's my car? And turns out we walked past it like 3 times. So that was a ridiculous.
That's what we have.
A ridiculous set of events. But anyhow, so Houston Prime was dope. Sorry, all that was just a little small talk there. Because we have to share the show out and get some people watching. This is an unconventional episode. Once in a while, for those of you who have actually been tracking my podcast, I will take breaks and just talk about shit I want to talk about, and just and have women on the show talking about things that have nothing to do with the trans community, trans life. We're just sharing our other interests, because we are all multifaceted individuals, and a lot of women in the community have a lot of interests, and thankfully some of them align with mine, which is like nerd shit. So today we are really talking about
I feel that's such a triggering word.
I embrace it. But yes, I have a guest today. It's her first time on the Men Like Us podcast. Her name is Joelle, and I did a panel with her. She moderated a panel that I was on earlier this year for Houston's The Mahogany Project, LGBTQ nonprofit here in Houston. So it was a really dope session, and I had to have her on, and we got to rap and we start aligning our interests. So, Joelle, please tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, what to tell? My name is Joelle Azori. I live in Houston by way of LA. Have family in St. Louis. I'm an Army brat. But LA is home. LA is my heart. I work in the community. I actually work for 2 organizations. My day job is with the Normal Anomaly, where I am a program coordinator. Also run their social media. At the Mahogany Project, I also run their social media. And yeah, I'm just excited and I'm a little anxious and nervous. My nerves are, I hope my nerves don't get the best of me.
Welcome to the Thunderdome. You're in the men's space now.
I don't know if I can do this.
So, yeah, what we are talking about today, where is it at? We were talking and we got on to Batman the Animated Series. If you don't know what that is.
Because I really wanted to wear a Batman shirt. Because I know the 1989 Tim Burton Batman is my favorite of all time. Favorites.
Yeah, same here. No, that's my favorite Batman movie as well. Batman the Animated Series came very shortly after that movie. This is, the graphic from the intro of it. I couldn't actually play it because I don't want to get flagged. YouTube is pretty aggressive with the copyright protection stuff. But, we wanted to talk about, let me take this graphic down first. So, first off, I just want to share why I love this series. This series is special because it went beyond good and evil. Mm-hmm. And it really portrayed the villains as human victims of circumstance. They weren't just like, well, you're the bad guy and I'm the good guy and I'm going to do this to you. It's like, man was down on his luck. Some bad thing after bad thing happened. And, now he's out for revenge on his boss. Like the story of the Riddler on there, he was an underappreciated genius who was pretty much gamed out of a lot of money, fired, and was just did straight up wrong by a greedy capitalist, boss. And, his whole story was just getting revenge. He was the victim in the story, really. He was the victim, and, he turned around and sought revenge for what had been done to him by this greedy capitalist man. And some of there's a few stories on there where it's just like the villain is just really a victim, just misunderstood. And like the way that they brought in a lot of the victims, the way they told a lot of stories and the overtones that they had in their stories was very mature. And it really hasn't been done the same way since. I think a lot of the current animation stuff is really dumbed down for children and it's lost a lot of its complexities. But Joelle, I'll let you share a little bit of why you enjoy the series so much.
For me, I think that it was the quality of the writing. I love that it definitely, like you said, it didn't dumb down the content for kids. I feel like it played to everyone and it kind of was able to find that middle ground without cheapening the quality. I loved how it was always continuations of storylines. I love that it wasn't these single episodes that you were able to digest. Like I loved the, Batman and Joker's feud, how it was an ongoing feud through multiple episodes. And I just liked, I like you said, it wasn't just simply black or white, good or evil. It was very, which are how many situations are in life. It's not just a good or bad, it's and both. It's showing that the characters are really, multi-layered and definitely have a lot of elements that go into what make them the way that they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely dope shit. Everybody, please comment. Please comment on, share your thoughts on why, if you thought the series was dope, if that was special, whatever. But we are going to move on to our next section. Well, really, our first section really is we want to talk about our favorite characters from the Batman the Animated Series that never made it to the big screen. There's a lot of really good villains in this cartoon series that really, deserve some time on the big screen. that were definitely special. And we came together. We made this list.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one on my list was a character called Clayface.
Yes.
So Clayface, and his story has a lot of parallels with a lot of people's situations right now. But Clayface is his story in this cartoon was the story of an actor who was getting old, and he was using this face cream to keep his face young. He was trying to hold on to his youth, his beauty, his handsomeness, his looks, because that's all he had. His acting career, he wanted to be the lead man in Hollywood forever. He just could not let go. And the lengths that he went to retain his youth and beauty, the chemicals and the procedures and all that stuff that he did to be that motherfucker, ultimately it ruined him and it turned him into this monster. And really, it turned him into this monster who just, like, all he was seeking after that was, I did all of this to become like this thing, this person, that motherfucker, that top person. It ruined me, and now all I want is the normal look that I had before. The look before the procedures, before I overused this chemical, all of it. He's just trying to get back to normal. And I think there's a lot of parallels with a lot of experiences out there where certain people just go too far seeking beauty and just doing certain things to their body, and it just doesn't work out, or they end up regretting it later. But it was really a tragic story. If you watch that episode, it was it was very emotional. They had a really emotional scene, especially towards the end, where he's just really being bombarded with all the images of himself. And there was even another story with him involved where he was weakened, and he took a part of his body and formed it into a small girl and sent her out into the world to find out, like, what's going on. Well, this girl loses her memories and she meets Robin. And Robin kind of starts to fall in love with her. And, Clayface is chasing the girl down. He's protecting her from Clayface, but then it turns out, like, she's actually a part of Clayface, and he has to say goodbye to essentially his first love. Now, this is the Tim Drake Robin, so he was like, 10. But it was like a really, it was a girl that he liked or had feelings for, essentially died, so that Clayface could be whole again. But it was really, really moving. But yes, Clayface needs to make it on the big screen. Whatever they do, I hope it's a great story. I hope they give him his own story.
I think with the Catwoman movie that everyone did not enjoy, my girl Holly, we not gonna slander Holly. However, I think what they tried to do with Sharon Stone's character, it was definitely a big miss. They should have actually had Clayface, because I think they could have worked the storyline a little bit better. It would have been a lot more interesting to have him as the villain when they were talking about, like, beauty forever. I think it would have added an extra layer instead of just having Sharon Stone's random villain character. But yeah, I definitely completely agree. Clayface would be an amazing, especially if they don't mess up the effects. What they could do with the effects and the fight scenes would be amazing.
Yeah, and he's he can also, like, he can turn into anyone. He can make his body in any shape. So it's really dope. And we'll get into why some of these things may or may not work in the future. But the next person on the list was yours. It was Catwoman.
I said Catwoman, really?
You said Cat. Well, hold on. Let me double check the list. My bad. Nope. Catwoman is on a different list. You said Man Bat.
Yes. So I picked Man Bat because I feel like so my favorite iteration of the film series was Tim Burton's series, and I definitely think that if they could have introduced Man Bat to any iteration of Batman in film, I think that he would have worked in Tim Burton's. Tim Burton would have been able to do him justice with his gothic take on Batman. I don't really see it happening. I definitely didn't see it happening with Joel Schumacher. Christopher Nolan's was a little too based in reality. So I just think that Man Bat would have been a great, like, kind of like B character when we're talking about villain. Like, or he would have been great, like, if they could have did a type of Arkham Asylum type of villain-based movie, or like a Gotham version of Sinister Six. I think that Man Bat could have been one of those lesser villains that they could have used, or if they could give us like a 4-hour Batman movie, I would be down for it. Fair
enough. Shout out to Adonis. He is all over it. Wow, we got a lot of them here. So actually,
Adonis, Ernest, my Mahogany Project family.
Yeah, we got 2 people left, 2 characters that haven't made it to the big screen that we want to hit. But I definitely and we're saying the big screen, so that means movies, not TV, big screen. So Adonis says he would say that Clayface used it more as a necessity than vanity. Yeah. I would say it's a little bit of A and B because he was trying to keep his acting career alive, but also, he wanted to be the lead man. And that happens sometimes with athletes, kind of like Carmelo Anthony. Like, he wouldn't take a job where he wasn't a starter. Like, he couldn't accept not being a starter in the NBA anymore and having to come off the bench. And, for some guys, you're going to have there's a rise and then there's a fall. Wow. And, the sun rises, the sun sets.
He should have focused on his skill and not his cheating. But, that's neither here nor there.
Baby Doll was another one that I definitely thought about. I don't think we used her in this one, but I'm with you on that one, Adonis. The Baby Doll story was really, really fucking good.
They worked in the Nolan series because I could see Baby Doll kind of being a little bit more based in realism if we're talking about, kind of the earlier iteration of Batman.
Absolutely. And Cynthia, absolutely right on this one. When the Joker always say, you're only one bad day away from being me. And I mean, that's really a lot of the villains in Batman the Animated Series. They were victims of circumstance. Sabrina says victims of circumstance, like trans women, LOL, definitely. And really, and John, we are going to talk about Mr. Freeze Trust. We're going to hit it. But the next one up for us was, Mr. Jervis Tetch, the Mad Hatter. Yes. The Mad Hatter. So his whole thing in the Batman the Animated Series storyline, because there's lots of different iterations of him, but on this one, he was just crazy for this girl, and he thought he was super thirsty. He thought she was the shit, X, Y, and Z. She would not notice him at all. He was also a genius, and he created these like control chips. Mm-hmm. And, he's the Mad Hatter. He kind of controls people. So he'll use like a little chip somewhere and order people around and control them. But that's his thing. But, obviously it's a play off of Alice in Wonderland. And, his character in there definitely used all the Alice in Wonderland callbacks to that book and the series. But I think he's a villain that definitely deserves some time. I love all the genius level guys, because the genius level guys can really think on the same level as Batman a lot of times. And, Batman has a really crazy high intellect, but I love the villains that plan 20 levels ahead of what's going to happen. And they always have contingencies, and they're always 2 steps ahead of the hero. So I think he's overdue for an appearance in a Batman movie. He may be like a second, where the Joker's the main guy, but he uses some of the technology that the Mad Hatter has on deck to complete his plan. Like, he can be a secondary guy, but I think he's overdue. Definitely overdue. What was the last one? I think the last one was yours. No, it was both of ours. Scarface.
Yeah.
Scarface. Scarface, as you see, he's a puppet that is like a mob boss, and he has the ventriloquist as his like flunky, and he's really a separate personality inside the ventriloquist.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved him on the show where it was great. Like, and he was very cutthroat on that children's cartoon. He was like, yeah, cry, plead, ain't gonna do you a bit of good. You're still gonna die. Like, he was still gonna shoot somebody in the face. Like,
it's interesting. I definitely, with all of the different versions of Batman, like, I feel like that one was kind of an easy, even if it's like how they have like a villain maybe in like the first half, and then like they are working into the main villain. It's just, I feel like he could definitely be like at least one of the villains in a movie where they would have multiple villains.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think so. Even if it was like a flashback, like, oh, he was fighting, flashback to him fighting Scarface, and that's all we get of Scarface. That's fine. But I've always loved the mobster movies. For whatever reason, as much as they don't like us, as much as they don't appreciate us, Black Americans have largely had a long time fascination with the Italian mafia. We all love watching The Godfather, and we love watching stuff about organized crime. And I love the mobster. I love it, and he runs his organization just like a mobster, like Al Capone. He's got the little cheeks like Al Capone, and I love it. He's very cutthroat, but he's a mastermind. Mm-hmm. He also is another character who has who's very intelligent and plans things ahead. So he's definitely way overdue. Way overdue on the I'm sorry. My friend sent me and I was like, hey, I love you, but I gotta watch the Bucks play. The Bucks are playing for it all right now. Fear the Deer. Milwaukee Bucks NBA championships. But I think Scarface is dope as fuck. He needs to be in a movie somewhere. He's been sorely neglected as a villain. Definitely. But our next part of this really is we talked about the ones we want to see on movies. Now we're going to talk about the ones that we have seen on movies that need a redemption. They just didn't get the attention they deserve. They could have been done so much better. There have only been so many villains who have been on the big screen who could really just use another shot. So let's see. Who needs a redemption? Oh my goodness. Top of the list is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze is at the top of the list. He is the number one villain who needs another shot. Deserves another shot.
Now, Arnold's version was Arnold's version. However, it works. It was very, 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 very. It was very bad. It was very bad. But
so goofy.
It was. It gave Batman the Adam West series.
Lots of puns. That's very Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And I feel like we need a serious Mr. Freeze. Like, not one that is Arnold just in blue paint and himself.
Absolutely. And really, I want to go to the. I want to go back to the audience real quick because somebody added another villain who deserves a movie, or who deserves a big screen appearance, and Rena was completely right on this one. Yeah. Talon and the Court of Owls. So that's really conspiracy theory. Like, the Court of Owls is kind of like the Illuminati, where it's just this court of people that are very rich, important, that run the city, and in one storyline, that's why the Waynes were targeted to be killed, because they were going against the Court of Owls and trying to save the city instead of keep it down where the rich can actually profit off of it. But Talon, was definitely another like Batman kind of figure. And, going up against somebody as smart as him with resources and having this whole organization, like I think that would fit very well for a Batman movie. It wouldn't be as fantastical, but I think the more practical movies when it comes to comic book movies work so much better. I mean, all you have to do is look at Captain America 2, where it wasn't some big, super strong superhero like battle. It was just two people fighting.
Well, I also think that part of the reason is if they were able to plan out, it seems like I don't understand what happens when they get to the planning, but if they were able to plan out the series in a Marvel type of way and build it out, then we could have a Talon in the Court of Owls as like they're controlling it. We get various villains in the movies, but like it kind of builds up to revealing that they're controlling it. But they act like they don't know how to write a single movie, let alone a series.
Yep, and we're definitely going to get to that. We're definitely going to talk about DC's problems, but the main thing they need to do is bring back Mr. Freeze. He is such a tragic character. He's a man who is putting it all on the line to save the woman he loves. His wife is stuck inanimate and frozen. I'm sorry, she was like cryogenically frozen, and he's just searching for the answer to save her. I think her name is Norma, and he's just trying to save her. That's all he wants to do is save his wife, and obviously reverse the effects of what happened to him. That changed him into the way that he is now. I think there was something that happened with a company. Again, another revenge story in Batman the Animated Series. He was, holding his wife, and they found out that he was trying to save his wife. I think she had an incurable disease or something like that. And then when they crashed the experiment, when they tried to shut it down, he actually got hit with whatever freezing chemicals, and it turned him into a being that can only exist in cold. And, revenge is a dish best served cold. He said that. And of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger said it too, because he's goofy. But he's such a good character and such a tragic story. I would love to see that on the big screen. I think it could be done. I think it could be given a lot of justice. And you don't even need side characters for this one. He could be it. He could be the only character, really. Not a 4-hour movie, but a nice 1.5, 2-hour movie, really. And now, so this one is yours. Actually, these next 3 might have been yours. So the next one for you, this might get a little controversial, is Catwoman.
Okay, so I'm going to explain why Catwoman. So,
okay.
Michelle Pfeiffer's iteration of Catwoman is the definitive movie Catwoman. And it sucks because we didn't get our standalone movie with her because she was pregnant when they were supposed to, because they set up basically like they finished filming. Adonis, Halle Berry. Now we don't have Halle Berry slander in the comments. But so in Batman Returns, originally it ends with the reveal that Catwoman did not die. However, they only filmed that after they had finished the movie. They ended up doing a pickup shot, and they did that movie to set it up for Catwoman's standalone movie. Well, Michelle Pfeiffer ended up becoming pregnant, so it stalled the movie, and then it morphed into Halle Berry's iteration. And I feel like ever since the Michelle Pfeiffer that version, we have not been able to get a good Catwoman. Like, first of all, they're stuck on Joker, and we got Catwoman, we got Halle Berry's, and we got Anne Hathaway's that was kind of underwhelming, and I don't know, they just do weird stuff with Catwoman. So that's why I'm like, I want another definitive Catwoman. Like, I want it, I need it. I mean, Batman Returns is my third favorite movie. I will forever watch that version, but I mean, I would like a different version.
Wow. So Anne Hathaway, I thought she was good. I liked her. I thought she was good.
She was. My issues with Dark Knight Rises was I don't think that it was a cohesive movie because I didn't like that she was in the movie for an hour and then she just disappeared. I had a lot of issues with that. And I was underwhelmed with Bane. I really would have liked more Catwoman. And I was tired of Talia. Like, I was just over how they were just doing the movie. Like, I just have a lot of issues with Dark Knight Rises. I thought it was underwhelming.
Fair enough. I want to address this one comment. Hold on, somebody talked about him. Bane, Cynthia, saying Bane was a beast in the comics, but a total letdown in Dark Knight Rises. For real. I got to be honest. I really loved the Bane in Dark Knight Rises. I hated the one in I don't know, what was that, Batman and Robin or Batman Forever? One of the two. He was like a side stooge for Poison Ivy. And like, it wasn't really like he was the big strong Bane, but it was trash.
You know, if they would have first of all, if Batman and Robin had been darker in tone,
yeah,
and Bane was like the Dark Knight Rises Bane, I definitely think that it would have been a lot better. Like, I would have been okay with the three villains, but it was like, well, you used Bane and you wasted a villain.
Fair enough. Now, Justin was talking about the Riddler. Justin, we talked about him, but we only had so many slots, and he didn't quite make it because I liked Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey did his thing in that movie. He wasn't terrible. Tommy Lee, not so great. Two-Face wasn't so good, but I mean, he did the best he could with it. I don't know. I just don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but I think the Riddler was a runner-up.
Yeah,
because that's another genius level character that could really do something awesome. Especially with the whole Hush storyline. I think Hush could be made into a movie. I think it'd be dope. So I think it's tailor made for the DC Entertainment Universe. But with them not being able to retain stars to actually play the fucking roles, like, good luck. Yeah. So there's all of that. But the next one is one that a lot of people have been saying, and I think you threw her in here too. Let me just get her. Just Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah,
Poison Ivy, another character that needs a big screen redemption, and I just want you to go into it.
I think it's and both. I think that Uma did the kitschy, hammed up version that was very Batman Adam Westy. But it's like, okay, that's not what we asked for. We want a serious Poison Ivy. Like, she was not goofy in the show. Like, she was serious in the show. I know. I like Uma, and I think that Batman and Robin, it was the Adam Westy version, but I'm like, no, we need some serious iterations of these characters, especially because they recycle the same characters anyway. Like, why can't we get a serious movie with Poison Ivy? Even if we didn't even if we got the movie again with Bane, Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy, I'm okay with that. But it's like, we need a do-over.
Yeah. No, I think she could do really well. And you know, the my favorite storyline with her, which would have to like only work as a sequel. I really enjoyed it was the episode where she was like allegedly reformed and was married, had 2 kids, and then it turns out those weren't actually kids, those were plant clones, and the man was under her control. So she pretty much went and got this man, hypnotized him, and then forced 2 kids on him. I'm going Maury here. She forced 2 kids on him that won his and held him at ransom. And it was just like, the unveiling of that was like, yo, I would have never guessed that would be the case. So it was really weird because they were like Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh yeah.
Like they were coming out of these things like lettuce, like it was crazy.
I wish that they had did something with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy. That was a big missed opportunity. Like the Birds of Prey movie, I was underwhelmed with. I just was iffy about it. But I really think that could have been an opportunity to reintroduce Poison Ivy. And I just feel like it was another miss.
Absolutely. I think sometimes they try to avoid the same characters from other movies that may not have been so successful. Even though, I'm just saying with this new DC EU, but it could have been done. It could have been done, and it could have been done well. Even with her, how she controls men by kissing them, and she even did it to Superman. She had kryptonite laced lipstick and controlled Superman for a while. So, like, absolutely crazy. I think
really good.
Yeah, it would have been dope. That's what I'm like. If they could retain characters, if they could retain actors to play these characters and start actually mixing and bobbing and weaving, like it doesn't have to be this big, ultra big bad that they're finding. It can just be on today's episode, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be a big like Thanos. Because, I don't know, but we're going to talk about what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing, and all that stuff in a bit. But I think we have one more. Oh, character that needs a big screen redeem. There was a portrayal of one character that you just did not like. And you were not enthused. And I'm like, I can see that. She could have been a little bit more badass, but they made her plain for the sake of the movie, and that is Talia al Ghul.
I was over her. I was over.
So this is how she appeared in the animated series. This is how she appeared in the Dark Knight Rises movie. Just so y'all know who we're talking about.
I was over it. Like I was underwhelmed with the reveal. I didn't get the chick fight that I wanted. I really would have loved a fight between her and I think that would have saved the movie for me. If I would have got my Catwoman and Thalia fights, I would have been fine. But we didn't get that because Marion called, she was pregnant and she had her baby and she was coming back. So we got this version, which was weird. And I just was so underwhelmed. Like, I don't understand what they were doing. Like, it just got on my nerves. That whole movie, I just was not a fan of.
I really, I don't know. I think Talia could have been done better, done differently for sure. Because the iteration on animated, seeing she's she's like a Tomb Raider kind of chick. She's a jet setter. She can defend herself, and she is a straight up boss. She ain't pretending to be somebody else under cloak and dagger. Like she is, somebody who wants to be in charge of the League of Assassins, and is like the daughter of Ra's al Ghul. Like that is who and what she is, not an undercover person who's faking it. But I also love her as the mother. Pretty much, I love her as Batman's baby mama as well. So I definitely do appreciate that much too. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways they could have went with it. A lot of different ways they could have brought her story into the mix. But I would love to see a son of Batman storyline where you finally introduce Damian Wayne to America, because he's on the cartoons, the video games, but it's not. I mean, for a lot of people, that ain't official till it's in a movie because that's all they consume are the movies. So, I definitely think it could have been better, but I mean, in the context of the Dark Knight universe, it was very realistic, I guess. Like it was very subdued, wasn't the fantastical, and you know, the ninja stuff in there was kind of just like Ra's al Ghul definitely should not have been killed that easily. Or at the very least, if he was killed, he should have been dragged. Like the Lazarus pit wasn't a thing either. Like
in the weird,
it was different.
They chose him as the villain for Batman Begins, but I feel like that was the opportunity that they should have had. Dollface. I just feel like it could have been more gangster themed if we're talking about an origin story of Batman. I'm just like, okay, this is how we're beginning. I don't know. I have my qualms about Nolan's series, the trilogy. I think it's a little overrated, but I'm a Tim Burton fan, so.
No, it is overrated. The first movie was okay. We just liked it because it didn't suck.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie, absolutely overrated. The Joker portrayal in that one was not the best at all.
I agree.
Everyone loves the dark Joker, but look, this is the Joker. Whatever the fuck Heath Ledger did ain't the Joker to me.
I think it worked for Nolan's movies, but I think people have to understand, like, the Joker was not that dark. Like, I feel like the balance was a little off. And I feel like a lot of people just are not old enough to be able to appreciate Jack Nicholson's Joker, which is the best Joker. Which is the best.
You're right. It definitely was the best Joker. Adonis, can we talk about Batgirl?
Oh.
No. I mean, really, it's funny. They skipped right over Batgirl and made a Batwoman TV show. So, no, we didn't like.
I don't even think about Batgirl because I just erased her from my mind.
No, Batgirl is cool, and the killing joke was definitely a thing. And they definitely should have included her in that DCEU. Because I guess by now she would already be Oracle. And that's definitely one thing I was just hoping to get a really good Batman movie with Affleck. Or Ben Affleck, just because, like, I want to see the Batman family. Like, I want to see the Robins or the Nightwing and Batgirl or Oracle and whoever else, But yeah, Alicia wasn't that good. That whole movie was kind of trash.
It was.
I forgot that she was Batgirl. Wow. Forgot that even happened. I guess I was,
Yes, that's why.
Yeah, PTSD. This one would be good too. Clock King.
Clock King would be really good. Right.
Absolutely. But the Dark Knight movie, the second one with the Joker, he was pretty much doing Clock King shit. Like, Clock King is the guy who plans the heist down to the nanosecond.
A Clock King would have been a good one. How they had Scarecrow going through the movies. I think that Clock King would have been a great, if they ever are successful in making another trilogy or another series. Clock King is one of those villains that you can start in the first movie, continue his story in the second one, and then he could be, fully formed in a third or fourth movie. But I think that they try to rush stuff. Like, I feel like he's a good gradual villain to insert.
So the last phase of this, y'all, is we want to talk about what's wrong with DC and why, we want to figure out why they can't get their damn cinematic universe together. Like, what are they doing wrong? We want to just identify what's wrong right now. And then we're going to talk about what maybe they should be doing, what would be better than what they're doing now. So, one of the things that we identified was they had issues with, like, tone.
I agree. Tone. I don't know what is going on with Warner Brothers, but they just do not. Yeah, exactly, Adonis. What's not wrong with DC? But I feel like what DC, they just do not understand the material. Like, and they can't seem to get someone who can give a clear-cut vision of what DC is. They try to follow Marvel, and then they want to be dark. They want to be Nolan. They want to be Marvel instead of trying to create their own unique brand. And then it's like, like Tim Burton. It sucks because Tim Burton didn't want to come back for a third movie, and Tim Burton was iffy about sequels at that point. But I feel like they don't have anyone that is good enough to be able to tailor out and really craft a universe that works. Like, they just can't even get fundamental stories right. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think the Snyder Cut really was a hard reset for the universe in my mind. I think the Snyder Cut really put them on the right track. And from here, now that they've established all these characters exist in the same universe, I think they need to continue. Like, they did that, and now they kind of gave up, and now they went and cast a new Batman, and it's just like, what are you doing?
A reboot, and it's supposed to be a standalone movie, and then they're doing a Joker, and it's like they don't really understand. They're just kind of moving along and just throwing stuff and seeing what works. Now, I will say that I am very excited about the Flash movie. The Flash movie is probably the movie that I'm anticipating the most from DC, because I'm really curious to see how they're going to do the shared universe. Like, they're bringing back Michael Keaton for Batman. I'm extremely excited because Michael Keaton is my favorite. So now that that's confirmed, I'm very, very excited. But I just think that DC just does not understand the material. And it's like, literally, you have something like the Batman animated series. Just take a storyline and then craft it into a movie. What's so difficult about that? But apparently that's very difficult, because look at X-Men. They fucked up Dark Phoenix twice. So I just, apparently it's very difficult to do.
That Fox is 21st Century Fox really fucked up a lot with the X-Men. So that does prove that it isn't easy to do this shit, because Fox and Sony got lucky with Spider-Man, and they haven't been able to do it with any other characters or villains or anything like that. That Venom movie was kind of trash. But really, I think, so hold on a second. I want to put this up here. So this is the DCEU. This is it. With Suicide Squad, they got a new Suicide Squad coming out. They got Shazam. They got the Batman movie, Justice League. They have a lot of stuff out there, and everybody don't have to be in everything. I think the best version of a DC universe that was ever set up was it was the Bruce Timm universe, first off. So Batman the Animated Series was the beginning of the Bruce Timm universe. Then, they had Superman the Animated Series. They brought everybody else in, had a lot of different stories.
The Animated Series was good too.
What was?
The Superman Animated Series.
Absolutely. But, everything tied in together. But he had his own series, and it wasn't all tie-ins. And they tied in once or twice here or there. But, what I really like, with the DC EU, which is their cinematic universe, what they need to do is really emulate the animated universe. Sure. So this is, the shot of the Justice League from their first movie coming together in the DC animated universe. They have a lot of animated movies out there. You can see them all on HBO Max. Most of them you can see on HBO Max. And, what the DC animated universe does that's so great is they tell a lot of different stories, and it's not all Justice League 1, Justice League 2, Justice League 3. Like, this Flashpoint movie is exactly what they've already done. But like the Hush movie that I had mentioned before was a standalone film. Yeah, Superman was in it for about 20 minutes, and they got him in, got him out. But it was like totally fine with just like they tell separate stories, and then you'll just have cameos at the best. But all these people, they're in an intertwined world, and they do know each other, but it's not a Justice League movie. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I would like to see is more independent stories. Justice League movies are essential, and I hope they have another one, with Darkseid and everybody coming back together again. But they need to tell some of these more individualized stories. That's why I kind of like Suicide Squad, where Batman was in it, but it's not a Batman movie.
Sure.
Batman showed up, arrested Will Smith. Just okay, this is connected. They had what's her name play shit. The black woman. And I forget her name for no reason. I'm brain farting. Viola Davis was playing, I forget her name, the government woman that's like, the high top. But she's in the new Suicide Squad movie as well, obviously, because she runs the Suicide Squad. But, I just think that, if they just keep up making these individual movies like Shazam, I enjoyed Shazam. I didn't need all the Justice League in that movie. It was a fun standalone movie. Now, when they all come back together again, Shazam definitely needs to be a part of the mix, but keep creating some separate movies and some new adventures, and just get like they did. What was that movie? Reign of the Superman, and they had all the different versions of Superman in there, and it was kind of fun. They had Superboy, who was, just a clone of Superman, not as powerful as him, but, the Son of Batman series definitely needs to be done. With the animated series they introduced Damian Wayne, and eventually, that Damian Wayne joined the Teen Titans. And then they had a Teen Titans movie. That TV show Teen Titans is kind of trash. Not interested at all in that one. But I know some people love it. I gave it a try. I just didn't like it. Not for me.
The thing that Marvel does, the Marvel universe, even though they have a lot out and there's a lot going on, but I can really appreciate that it mirrors.
Sorry, it's Amanda Waller. Thank you, everyone.
It mirrors the comic books in a way of they have things that are kind of interconnected. There are nods to different things. And I think that DCEU could do it. I just feel like nobody has faith. I really feel like they're just churning the wheels. Nobody has faith in anything. I think that they are literally just, a lot of what they're doing makes no sense. Like having another standalone Batman movie that's another reboot or reset. Like this is not what we asked for. And I feel like they refuse to listen to the people. They're just so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses and make money and try to copy Marvel. And it's not working. Like, it's not working at all.
Definitely. Agreed.
And then it's like, even when, we got Justice League and then we got the Snyder Cut, it's like, this is literally a hard reset that you can proceed from. And you all don't even know how to proceed with it because it's just, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm loving like the Flash movie. And I'm like, okay, now I don't want a hard reset with the Flash. I just want forward momentum or whatever you're doing. But it's like, let's start connecting some dots because this is just dots all over the place.
Well, Justin had shared that there's a theory that this Flashpoint movie is going to reset everything. Because what happened with the Flashpoint, a lot of times when they tell the Flashpoint story, something has changed. And everything isn't exactly as it was. So, something drastically horrible happens. They'll just say, hey, Flash, run back to the past and fix this. Like, prevent this.
I mean, they're bringing back Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne Batman version. And apparently he's signed on for at least another movie. So
I think it'd be a great for Batman Beyond. If they did Batman Beyond, I would love to see him, be the old grump. I want to see him do Batman Beyond and Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah.
But Dark Knight comes before Batman Beyond because Dark Knight is where he's so old, but he can still fight. And Batman Beyond, he's like pretty much on a cane. But the Dark Knight Returns, such a good story, and that animated version of it, the way that he fucked up Superman was epic. I mean, it was just like, yo, when you're alone that night, just know I beat you. That's so dope. But yeah, I think that's definitely I think that would be dope as well. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. There was something that they're fucking up. There's so many things that they're fucking up.
What are they not fucking up at this point?
Yeah, right. I mean, they just have an identity issue, but either way, I just hope that they can pull things together and start to bring all the movies together, just in the same continuity. But it doesn't have to be Justice League 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what I was going to say. DC movies have the same problem that anime movies have, or movies that are adopted from animated mediums, which is they bring on people in Hollywood that have no respect for the source material.
Sure.
They think that their version is better. Okay, you're bringing me Batman, and I'm going to make it my version of Batman. Now we're going to get M. Night Shyamalan's Batman, and it's going to be something completely different. All we want is the shit on the comic books on TV. That's it. It don't got to be brand new, and you don't have to change things because you think it would be cooler. They already made the shit. Just do it. Like, they wrote the lines. Read the fucking lines. You don't have to add your own stuff onto it. And a lot of times, they just don't respect the source material. They want to put their own stamp on it, their own, spin on it. Like, yo, this is my take on the Batman story, and I'm redoing it. And it's like, well, who the fuck are you?
Usually far worse.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely horrible. I mean, if you've seen the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, like, absolutely trash. But it's just an example of Hollywood not respecting the source material. Oh, well, this is made for kids, and I have to redo it to make it for adults. And you don't have to. You don't have to touch shit. You ain't got to touch nothing.
Well, it's like, can't they just look at a movie like Sin City? Literally, you take the source material and just transfer it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to change anything. Literally, it's a blueprint. And it's like, no, we don't need a remix version. Like, we like what we clearly like what we saw and read. All you have to do is transfer it to film and make it work. But it's like Hollywood thinks that they could jazz it up and make it better. And it's like, no, you've actually made it worse. And you set us back.
Much, much worse. I mean, Venom. What Sony did with Venom is just like, yo, that's a villain for Spider-Man. Go get Spider-Man, get a cameo in there.
Yeah.
And maybe this is his, I'm getting myself together story. Like, I used to be a villain and now I'm going to be this good guy. Because that's where kind of Venom goes in some of the storylines. He isn't a complete fuck up all the time. I'm glad they're trying it again with Sony. Because I know this isn't DC, but it's just like the way that they try and do these stories sometimes is just bad. But I love Aquaman. I would love to see a sequel there. I would love to see another Superman movie standalone. I would love to see maybe Brainiac come into the mix with just a standalone Superman movie.
Well, Superman is one of those same issues with Batman. They literally use the same villains in the movies. Like,
yes.
It's like, okay, we would like a different villain. Like, come on.
I mean, Lex Luthor is a villain that must have his time, but they fucked up the casting of that so much. It doesn't make any sense. Like, this goofy ass, jolly, weird, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
DC tries to copy Marvel so much that they missed the mark. It's like what Marvel did was they looked at their source material and they said, let's pull Guardians of the Galaxy that no one really, unless you're a Marvel fan, no, you're not going to know who Guardians is. And let's craft a genuine story to make people care about it. Like, let's legit craft an amazing story. Because it's like, even if Guardians was not a part of the Marvel universe, as a standalone movie, it was amazing. I saw it twice in the theater. I was just completely blown away. And I feel like that's what Marvel gets right. Like, Doctor Strange. It's like, Doctor Strange is not Iron Man. However, like the way that they crafted the story it just pulls you in, and it's like DC continuously fucks up because it's like you don't even pay attention to the source material. You say, you know what, we're making a Batman. I mean, we're making a Superman movie. Let's just get Lex Luthor. Like, let's just get Zoe. It's just like it baffles me.
Yeah. And the way that they shoved Martian Manhunter in, like right at the end, it's like, wait, what? What the fuck for? Like, this dude got a whole ass backstory. Like, tell it. And I like what they did in the Bruce Timm universe, where his story was the impetus to bring them all together, not Darkseid.
Yeah.
You know, where it's the invaders from Mars that really did it. Now, I don't mind Darkseid being the big bad that brings them all together, but that really, the White Martian storyline definitely could work. Absolutely. That and the invaders, all that shit, whatever's happening on Mars can come to Earth. It could be a big thing. It'll be dope. The Thanagarians, definitely another big bad for all of the Justice. It doesn't have to just be Darkseid, but Darkseid is a big one. He is a big one, and I fucks with it. I just think, you know, they were really rushing to hit those big movies in the way that Marvel did, but I mean, it took time. Like Iron Man 1, didn't nobody know what the fuck this was. Like Iron Man was just a great standalone movie. People loved it. Mm-hmm. The Incredible Hulk happened before it. It was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as the other Hulk movie. But yeah, that one. What was the next? Captain America.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. I mean, after the first one, they really kind of started this whole universe thing. But you know, when they were like, "Oh yeah, they're going to tie all the movies together," we're like, "Wait, they're going to do what? How is that going to work? That doesn't even sound." It sounds like they're going to do something really stupid and disappoint everybody, and they absolutely did not. But I was expecting the worst.
They took their time. They didn't. Okay, they didn't say, okay, between two movies, we're going to introduce all these characters, and boom, they're going to be a squad that's going to. They literally took their time, and they, you know, their intent was to not only craft the universe, but to make great standalone movies. Like, that you enjoy without having to be invested into everything that's going on.
And I think another issue that DC has is, you know, they bring in big names that they can't keep.
Yeah, true.
Like, you got to look at Chris Hemsworth. Nobody really he had roles, but he had like he was on Star Trek, the movie, for like a couple minutes in the beginning. He wasn't the star of the movie. He played Captain Kirk's dad before he died. Like, so I'm saying, like, they picked him up, kept him for a long time. Old boy that played Captain America, he was in Fantastic Four, but kept him for a little bit. Like, it was fine. I'm just saying, like, it was they didn't pick like they didn't bring in The Rock and expected to hold on to The Rock for 10 years. That's ludicrous.
Like, look at them now. They bringing The Rock into DCEU, and it's causing it's a mess. And then
they're saying like, oh well, he's supposed to be back, and Adam was going to be back for this. And now I'm like, I mean, that's why The Rock is old. Why are you starting something with him now? Go get somebody else and get a young guy.
He should not be dictating where the universe is going. Like, no, that's not how this works.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know, Ben Affleck dictating where the universe goes and what, you know, and his involvement and yes and no. I'm just like, what's going on here?
And I also question them bringing in an old Bruce Wayne. I think this timeline needed a Bruce, like a middle of the road Bruce Wayne, not brand new, but they needed. I know they wanted to bring us something we haven't seen before, and that's fine. But I needed to see more and different. And wow, the Joker. I mean, they fucked up two of the biggest villains in the whole goddamn universe, which is Lex Luthor and the Joker. Those are the two worst iterations of both those characters. And this, I mean, I hope Flashpoint resets that so we get a new Joker.
I hope so. I actually give us a little time for the Joker, because I'm like, we can't get another one. I'm tired of the Joker, period. I am at overload with the Joker.
That's because they don't do them well. If they did them well, you would like them, but everybody's all about this tragic and just depressing shit. I don't know. I can't.
I agree. I'm reading the comments, and I'm definitely agreeing with.
Yeah, it'd be great if they followed the Marvel blueprint. This one would be really good as a standalone movie. Is the Crime Syndicate? If they went, because DC is all about different parallel universes. Marvel is just jumping into this, but DC has really been into this a lot more than Marvel. So jump into that separate universe and fighting the Justice Lords or the Crime Syndicate, dope. Like evil versions of them, yes.
Any good writers that would appreciate the source material and that could really build it out. Like Warner Brothers doesn't. I don't even think they have the confidence to do it. I don't think they have the confidence in anyone. So they're just like, we will just get whoever will make a movie. Let's just try to get something to stick. Like literally.
Yeah. There's no real DC universe. They never sat down and plotted out. You're right. Marvel made all of them stars. Yeah, I mean, wow. They made Robert Downey Jr. into a star once again. He was already there, fell, and put his star back on the map.
Literally.
This dude is high-end Hollywood at this point. Top-tier talent.
Don't have to make another movie.
Mm-mm. But if he does, he gets top billing, top dollar, and everybody shows up because we all love Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, like, if you look at his other movies, he's used to playing characters that are really smart alecky like that. Always got something to say. I just can't stand the Joker with the grill and the tattoos. I feel you on that. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking.
They knew what they were thinking, honestly.
I mean, they turned Joker into a gangster. But for what? Like they turned him into like some Tekashi 6ix9ine looking gangster. And it's just like, I don't know. Here's what I would love to see though is like, again, I like the cerebral villain. So I want to see Joker's brilliance.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see his ruthlessness, his brilliance. Yeah, I saw him being ruthless on Suicide Squad. And that was definitely a thing. But his laugh doesn't make me laugh. His laugh is just cringeworthy, really. Ugh, disgusting. Harley Quinn was great.
For Joker, the issue is that because they're making all these random standalone movies. If you're gonna make a random standalone movie, do not put in a character like the Joker, who is such a quintessential villain that the Joker needs to be across multiple movies. Like, give us a different villain that we haven't seen before. But if you're going to do standalone movies, don't give us these big villains because you're not able to do them justice. It just doesn't
really, you can have a great Batman movie about him thwarting this new organized crime. The criminals are getting smarter, the heists are becoming more precise. Hard for him to stop X, Y, and Z. You could have Scarface at the head of the organization. He's the new face. And the Clock King is the one that's planning all the heists. And boom, you have this unstoppable new force and the criminals are getting smarter and all this stuff. Or I love the Red Hood. That's something that they could do with this current DCEU is the Red Hood. Because if you look and hold on a second, there's loud people out here. Like, bringing kids in the building.
I can't hear.
Okay. Yeah. Anywho, but the one thing they did when you look at Justice League or Batman versus Superman, one of the two, they showed the Batcave and they showed that Jason Todd was already killed.
Mm-hmm.
So they can really do the Red Hood, and the Red Hood storyline would be great. It would be fresh. Red Hood is not mainstream for a lot of people. They don't know. They don't even know there was a second Robin that was killed. So for him to come back and then stop playing by the rules and start killing people, and then all of a sudden Batman finds out that that's his former protege, and they start finding bad guys together, like, could be dope. Could be really dope. And that, huh?
DC needs to kill people. That's part of it.
Fair enough. And they just got to try something new. At the end of the day, they have to try not to be Marvel because when they did that with the Justice League movie, it was terrible. Well, yeah, there were some funny moments. Cool. That the Snyder Cut was so much better.
It was. Even
So much better.
something as simple as just the action scenes. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about the one of the first main action scenes with the Amazonians.
Mm-hmm.
That so in the original Josh Whedon cut, I was like, this action scene is very flat. Like it was not giving what it was supposed to give. But in the Snyder cut, I was like, okay, it's giving me what it's supposed to give me. But it's just the Josh Whedon cut was so weird and just flat. Like it was just, I was bored. Like I was very bored.
But can we talk about how trash Wonder Woman 2 was? Wonder Woman 1984 was straight up hot garbage. And if I paid $15-20 for a ticket plus concessions to see that hunk of shit, I'd be mad as fuck. I'll be right here ranting and raving about it. Sorry, I do a whole episode about it. It was that horrible.
He did something good, and it was awful. Like I haven't seen the first Wonder Woman because I was like, I wasn't.
It was good.
I don't know. I was iffy, and I need to watch it after watching this awful 1984. But I was bored because I was like, so when does the action start? And then I was like, when is the story? And then I was like, so I waited 2 hours literally for her to fight Cheetah. I was disgusted.
Oh my God, what's wrong with the audience? Yeah, I have terrible viewers. They love 1984. They said it was good.
Oh, until I saw it again. And then I hated. The ending was so hokey. And I was like, get this out of here. Like, literally, they could have made the whole movie about Cheetah. Like, and I thought that Kristen Wiig, I wasn't sold at first. Like, I was like, I love her, but I'm not really feeling this casting. Mm-hmm. But she was interesting as Cheetah. And I just think that the writing was so awful, and then the tone and the pacing, and they dragged her out only to have her in these quick fight scenes. I'm like, they literally set this up and wasted my time. Like I was like, I want my money back, and I had HBO Max. I said, I want my money back.
Yep, exactly, and that's that's what I'm talking about. Like if I was just lucky that it was at home. Because, like, yeah, I mean, they got Felix Faust. That could have been great. I mean, they could have. I know they already did. What was it? They already did Ares. I get that, but yeah, Cheetah really could have just had her own fucking movie.
Yeah,
like Cheetah really could have been that motherfucker. Like, and it was just.
I was just like, this is boring. Like, this is really boring for it to be a 2.5 hour movie. It was awful. And now they're trying to rush the third movie. I'm like, no. We need to slow down. Like,
no, the first one was so good, and like they didn't have to bring him back. It could have been like she went back in time or something. I don't know, like. Or maybe she could have went down to the underworld because, she's attached to Greek mythology. She could have went down to Tartarus or something like that and encountered her love again and had to say goodbye to him, And
then I feel like therein lies the issue with DCEU. They don't know what they're doing. Because I'm like, you all make a movie and it works, but you all don't even have faith that a movie will work. So you don't even plan for the future. You're just like, we'll make this and we'll see. And then when it works, I do agree about Man of Steel. It was awful.
I liked it. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just fine.
Snyder is hit or miss. I think he's hit or miss.
But you got to understand, though, I sat through Superman Returns. And that movie was a heaping pile of shit.
I did not sit through that at all.
It was absolutely. It was supposed to be like a sequel to the original Superman series with Christopher Reeves. So I mean, it would that movie was horrible. So then coming off of that movie into Man of Steel, I was like, oh, this okay. I fucks with it. Oh, and then they starting off with Zod. Okay, yeah, he's not the Zod of old, and he don't got to be that.
Yeah.
For me, I don't need the kneel before Zod and all that. The regalness of the character. I don't need that. That's not Zod in every iteration. So I mean, I enjoyed it. The actor was good. I did like that they still had the big guy. I wish they would have showed the big guy and kind of used because in Superman 2 it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
That the big guy was just like, you could tell what he was thinking by his like, that would have been cool if they did that. He was just some big dude in a suit. That's fine. The woman was cool. The fights, absolutely dope. The way that they were like speeding around and punching and like
the fights were good.
Fire.
The fights were good.
Fire. I like the backstory too. I think like
I wish they would have got a different Lois Lane. I am not a fan.
Oh God, yeah, she was not. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna just say this. Lois Lane is hot, and she was not. She was woefully average.
Amy Adams was very mopey, and she was very emo. I was over it. I'm looking for an upbeat, spunky. I'm just looking for somebody a little more with some spunk. She gave me. I was just over her. The whole series was.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I think of Lois Lane, I think of a 1980s, career woman that's out there just taking the world by the balls and just doing it. She's got her suit on and she's walking and she's just take charge. And this one was just like,
I think they could have did something. Well, even I think she.
And why does she have to be ginger? What's wrong with Lois Lane has black hair? Why are we doing this?
They did that because
why
of Amy Adams? Because I don't know. I feel like did like a Megan Fox would have been
absolutely. I mean, she played it on Ninja Turtles. She could have been there for that.
Very true.
I mean, and look, she ain't doing shit. Like they could have held her for 10 years to be Lois Lane. Really?
She looks actually really good now. Like,
yeah.
She would have given us the spunk that we need. Amy Adams just bored me to tears.
Oh yeah, no, Gore. Like horrible.
Hated her.
Yes. Okay, Megan Fox can't act. That's fine, but she can look the part, and I'm not going to fall asleep on her scenes. But yeah, AOC vibe, Lois Lane to me. I fucks with that.
Yeah,
I fucks with that. Take charge. But yeah, I get it. Megan Fox cannot act. Dark Superman is so out of character. I feel ya. Watch your mouth. Snyder's version palette is too dark and matte for Superman. Possibly. Now what they can really do is redeem themselves is to reboot the Supergirl franchise and make it darker, though Zach could handle it. Yeah. I mean, I like the Supergirl TV show.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I really enjoy it. I mean, look, CW did what DC could not. They made a coherent universe that tied in a lot of characters. My only gripe with that CW universe is that they excluded the black guy. Why does the black guy have to not exist in your universe? Like, why?
Very true.
Why can't he be there with Arrow and Flash and everybody else and just be one of the team?
Very true.
You already had a universe, already had a Crisis, whatever, multiple. You already did a tie-in with all the series, and the black guy's a new one, and you exclude him for really? I find that to be very whack. Not cool.
I think that the issue with Superman is, and it's in the comments. Christopher Reeves did have the personality. Christopher Reeves gave like Captain America style personality. And I think that after the Nolan series, they wanted the movies to be dark, and then they wanted them to be like Marvel, instead of really just understanding that Superman is bright and upbeat, and he's charismatic, and Henry Cavill, he's attractive. He is not charismatic. Like, he was dark and mopey, and it was just a weird, like, I don't know. It's weird. But I also think that maybe it's the catalog of actors we have. They just are not picking the great actors.
Oh, there's a Christopher Reeves wannabe out there somewhere. But what I'll say about Christopher Reeves' portrayal as Superman is it's a product of his time.
True, very true.
Because this I'm here for right and justice and the American way. Like, people don't want to hear that shit right now. Like, we don't want an American way Superman, because that sounds like a Blue Lives Matter Superman to me, and I don't want that shit. So
but I think that you don't have to go too far left, because I also do not want to watch a realistic superhero movie. Like, I think that that's the good thing about Marvel, is they kind of were able to build out their universe, but I feel like DC is doing too much in realism. Like, well,
the crazy thing is DC has all of its characters. Like, they could really, Marvel has a shitty universe compared to what it could be, because they just didn't have rights to all their characters when they started this shit. But I mean,
if they would have had X-Men, oh my god,
X-Men, Fantastic Four, like, yo, it would have been Spider-Man.
Yes, true.
If they had Spider-Man from the beginning, we probably wouldn't have gotten a child. We probably would have got a grown, because when Spider-Man was in the Avengers, he was a grown-ass man. There wasn't no child, wasn't no kid Spider-Man like trying to be a pledge.
Now, I am excited about the new Spider-Man movie too.
Absolutely.
I like multi-universe movies. So
yes.
Very excited about all three Spider-Mans being in the movie.
No. That was what they did with Into the Spider-Verse was absolutely amazing. Really enjoyed it. That was a dope ass movie for sure. Very dope movie. But yeah, what is it? Wait, hold on. Okay. Cynthia Barlow, you're not taking an icon. All right, I don't know where we're at with these comments. They just keep coming in. Oh, Brian Roth is Captain Adam. I like it. I like him better as that than Superman. His Superman was not good. So, but we'll see what happens with the DCEU. We'll see what happens with DC. I think we all hope that they can turn this thing around and take it slow and just doing it in a different way. Like, a lot of times what you have to do is stop playing the same game. Like, they can't win. They cannot win at playing the Marvel game. They have to play a different game. They're not even, don't even play the same game that the competition is playing. Do your independent movies, have very small crossover, and make it known that they're all in the same universe, but it doesn't have to be, a Justice League every fucking movie.
Well, and I don't think they understand, like, even Marvel is switching it up. Like, Marvel did, their first chapter of the universe. And now they switched it up. Like, now they're incorporating their TV shows. Now they're still building it out, slowly. And I think DC, you're not going to be able to catch up. Like, that's not going to happen. What they're doing right and start. Wow, they're so busy trying to skip steps in
Absolutely. And I think one big thing that they're missing right now is the Green Lantern. I hope they figure out a way to do Green Lantern, and I hope they figure out a way to bring in Jon Stewart. We have not had a good portrayal of Jon Stewart since the Bruce Timm universe.
I feel like how they're doing it, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, they got to start bringing in some of the space stuff, I think there's a lot to be done, but I would love to see a Brainiac iteration for the DCEU. I think that's one large character that definitely deserves some screen time that hasn't gotten it. But that Green Lantern movie was just bad, and I think it could be done so much better. And I'm just waiting to see what they do. But Shazam 2 is coming out. I can't wait for that one. I love the first one. People hated it. I thought it was great.
I'll have to see the first one. I wasn't really.
Well, the people were When that first one came out, I used to be a movie critic. And a lot of my friends that were also reviewing movies, they were like, "Oh, the script writing is terrible. The pacing is trash." They were examining it like a movie expert and not just a regular ass motherfucker that just watches movies and enjoys it. And I just enjoy the movie for what it is. It's just a fun kid movie. I'm not taking it too seriously, but I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was fun. Like, had a little bit in there. They tried to get a little bit dark with it, but they didn't stay too long, and that was cool. Billy Batson is a kid, smart alecky. Not in every iteration, but yeah, it was a fun movie. So I just hope they do it again, and people just got to take this stuff a little bit less seriously. Like, not everything is going to be a work of art that stands the test of time. A lot of times the movie is just fun in the moment and you probably don't go back to it. I mean, when's the last time you saw fucking SWAT with LL Cool J and who the fuck else was in there? Colin Farrell. And like, it was just one of those movies like you just saw it and you just kept it moving. You never went back to it. But it wasn't terrible. I don't know. So and that's really what they have to do is they have to find a lot of B-list talent. Like finding Tom Hiddleston. Wow, I've never seen him on anything before. He was Loki, and that motherfucker is savage. Such a good actor. There's so many people out there that they can discover. So jump to A-list actors, get some more B-list folks in there, really make it happen. But that's just my solution. I know we've kind of went long, y'all, and I appreciate y'all for sticking with us through this, but we had to get it out. Look, again, not everything is about, I'm sorry. There are parts of our lives that have nothing to do with transness, trans community, any of that stuff. We just enjoy lots of different things. I love my books. I love comic book stuff, and I love bringing trans women on my show to talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the trans community because I think a lot of guys in this space need to understand that y'all like a lot of different things and y'all are a diverse group of women. And yeah, so I mean, the portrayals really need to be less sex, less, strife and trauma and all this. Like, I just want to show a different side to people. And that's why I do these kinds of shows. So I have another one. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
People, it's more sensational to sell, trans women or people of trans experience are just simply doom and gloom and sex work. And, we don't have anything else to offer. Like, we're so tragic and we're going to die soon because we don't live long. So we don't have anything else to offer. And I think that it's not interesting to, see the multifacets of, a person that is trans, to see their identity, but everybody else is able to experience their life in the intersectionality of their life. And I think we just have to normalize it.
Absolutely. So that's why we're doing these shows, y'all. I know, I've done a few of these already. They're like, well, what does this do to help the movement? How are you helping by talking about nerd stuff? Like, what does Batman have to do with helping the trans community? It's like, doesn't have shit to do with it. We're just talking and enjoying conversation on a different subject. But we're going to be doing this again.
It has everything to do with it because part of liberation is really broadening people's scope. And part of liberation is literally not living your life in trauma. Seriously.
Exactly. You were absolutely right. Absolutely right. And so that's what we're doing with this for. And I'm enjoying it. And we're going to be doing this again next week. I'm having a porn star friend of mine. She's been in the business for a little bit. Her name is Ryder Monroe, and we're going to be talking some more Star Trek. So, plan for a lot of we're going to be doing streams in the middle of the week, and they're going to be kind of odds and ends streams. And then every Friday, we're going to get back to the guy talk sessions and all that stuff. Something else that's in the work, I am producing a new series that is definitely going to be revolutionary. I don't know if I want to give all the beans away, but we're doing a lot of recordings. We're recording a lot of stuff that isn't mainstream. Just keep an eye out for it. I got a new project on the way, and it's definitely going to help everyone understand trans men just a little bit better. Trans community, everyone else, doesn't matter, all people. So look out for it. We are really going to bring the heat with this one, and that's in the works. So look forward to that. I might actually start a Patreon and wall it behind a paywall. Who knows? Because it's some really dope content. And all of this shit ain't free. I do have a producer on staff. I pay people to help. I bought equipment.
I don't understand why you don't have a Patreon.
I don't know. I should make one, but you know,
is that a man thing? Because I know people that have podcasts that have Patreon.
I think for me, it's a thing of I think there are people already upset enough that a man is speaking and a man is taking up space, even though I made the space myself. For me to start asking people to give me money or help me fund some of this, you know, taking in money for it might be an even bigger offense for a lot of folks out there. And I know that's not something I should be worried about, but you know, these are the things that I do think about sometimes when it's like, how do I proceed with this podcast? What do I do? You know, how I travel, what the steps that I take.
The best one. It was in the comments.
Uh-oh. Stop. Whoa, what? God damn it, I missed it. Oh, I missed it.
He missed it.
Oh.
Because of me.
Oh, the Bucks won. Yes, the Bucks feared the deer. The Bucks won. All thanks to this man right here. Hold on. Got to take my headset off. I got to tilt this up a little bit because y'all got to see it. Wait, is he? All right. This guy right here, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak. Shout out to the Greek Freak. Shout out to the Greek Freak. He came over here. I think he started playing when he was 18. I saw him before his first NBA season. He was scrawny as hell. And now he's a big, muscly man. He's been in the league since he was, you know, a teenager. But yeah, he brought us home a title. Shout out to him. Shout out to the new owners. Definitely great. It's definitely something the city of Milwaukee needs a win. It's a very not happy place. But thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. Oh, Mike. No, the season is over. The season was over for Brooklyn because y'all lost to the Bucks. Fear the deer yet again. But anywho, yeah. So guys, we got a lot of good stuff coming up, and you know we'll be, you know. Wait, what? What do you think of having a trans Catwoman? I don't know. Okay. For me, what I'm going to say is that this is just my rule in general for comic book heroes. Side characters, I care a whole lot less about, but heroes and villains and like main cast members, I don't like when they fuck with the race of them, really. Like, I don't need a black Superman. Just give me a black character that got the powers of Superman. Like, yeah. They're doing this new Black Superman movie, and they're just making Superman black. They're making Clark Kent black instead of just bringing on I think it's the second universe. I think it's Universe 2 that has a black Superman, and his name is something completely different. Just there's a character already made. You don't have to make this white character black. We already got something.
I think that is the performative stuff that we didn't ask for.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's like, well, what is it, you know, like having a trans Catwoman that's a trans woman? Well, is that going to be the focal point? And I think that it just, I don't know.
Here's what I am here for. I am here for a trans actress to play Selena Kyle
Oh
a
yeah,
cis woman.
yeah.
I'm okay with that, but I'm just saying, like, at this point, changing a character to being trans would take the focus away from being and yes, you're right. Icon is he is a black Superman pretty much. But it's taking. I don't like taking the focal point away from the hero itself to be like, oh look, he's black, he's this, he's that. It's like, yo, dude, just stop it. How's about we make up a fucking character? Because all this shit is make believe. We can make a character and make that a part of their like story and their trial and their like, and we can really appreciate it instead of making this, taking some other character and changing the story for that. Like, I think there's a way to do it. But yeah, I would love to see a trans woman play Catwoman, and I would love to see trans actresses play cis roles in general. I think that'd be dope. So I'm here for it.
It would be amazing, but more times than not, Hollywood fumbles the ball, unfortunately.
He said he meant as having a trans woman play Catwoman, not turning the character to trans.
I think that would be good. I just think that my fear is that they will fumble the ball, especially DC, because DC already cannot get it right anyway. Mm. So it's like, I feel like they will fumble the ball. Now,
yes.
Honest, okay.
I mean, even Wonder Woman. Like, Wonder Woman is not some dainty little woman like the one that they cast. Wonder Woman has broad shoulders, a little bit taller. She's like in a lot of iterations, she's taller than the Flash. Mm-hmm. Like, she's an Amazon, not a small woman that was just freakishly strong.
Sure.
So, you know, the Hollywood went and picked a Barbie doll and made her Wonder Woman when they, you know, could have picked somebody else that was a little bit, you know, had some more athletic features. The kind of features that, you know, they call out a lot of black women for, like a Serena Williams, you know?
Been interesting if they would have had Cheetah actually be trans.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been interesting.
Or Vixen. I would like to see that too. I think that could be dope.
Very true.
Vixen. And, well, no, because I don't want her to get dumped. But they cannot have Hawkwoman in there. If her and Jon Stewart was a thing, that'd be dope as fuck too. Hashtag black men don't cheat. They could all have her faithful black man there who treats her right, does good by her, and he's out there saving the universe.
That would be great. That would be great.
There you go. For sure. But yeah, guys, we're going to be doing a lot more of these middle of the week. And I'm just have more women as guests. Obviously, I'm going to have Joelle back. And we're going to do this again with some other comic book stuff because, you know, she's a new friend of the show. So the dreaded Men Like Us podcast, you know, the villainous Men Like Us podcast.
I didn't even have an alcoholic drink. I was so nervous. I felt like I had to be on my P's and Q's here.
Oh, yeah. No, we just have fun here. We kick it. I thank everybody for joining us today. And I'm going all the way back up to the top. Shout out to Brianna, Box number 512 podcast, by the way. Check it out. Hold on. Here is it. All right, yeah. Box number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman podcast. Check it out. Also, the Real Talk podcast. Thanks. Run by my man, Mike Brooklyn. Thanks for joining us tonight, Mike. And shout out to Justin J. Alva. You can find him on YouTube. He does a lot of React content. He reacts to a lot of transphobic content. Again, J. Alva. Let's see here if he's there. We go. Yeah, search that name, J. Alva, and you'll find some of his content as well. Shout out to Adonis, Cynthia, G. Mike, Vernus. Appreciate y'all, Rena. Huh?
Shout out Vernus, Adonis, Mahogany Project. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Shout out Sabrina. What's up? That's my homegirl. Who else up in here? I just want to make sure we shout out Elizabeth. Thank you so much. Shout out Denver. Was there anybody new that came in late?
Look at you, sir.
Relly. Shout out to Relly.
I never shout out all the comments, sir.
Yeah. No, look, I just want to give the acknowledgement to everybody who made the broadcast dope by commenting, watching us live.
I learned something I learned something because I definitely do not shout people out because I be by this time I'm usually like two or three drinks in.
Oh yeah.
Adonis
Well,
actually has a podcast, Tales from the Crib, a true crime series podcast on YouTube. Shout out Adonis. We actually have a podcast as well in Living Colors on the Mahogany Project as well. So shout out.
There you go. And yeah, so and I'll tell you after the show what really spurred that on. But thanks everybody for joining us today. We are going to be live on Friday evening, and we have some new men. We have some new men, different races, different experiences. It's definitely going to be a lit show on Friday, so definitely check us out. And we will see y'all in a few days.
Are you celebrating your birthday?
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
Boys.
My birthday is in an hour.
It is.
So not going to say what number that is. You have to listen to the show already and know how old I really am. I've already said it. So, but yeah, yep, my birthday is in an hour. Shadow cancer season. So I know
we're not doing that.
Nobody loves cancers. I don't get it. What's up, Phaedra?
Everybody loves a Scorpio. That's what is the truth of the matter.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, nobody loves cancers. That's fine. But we will catch all of y'all next time. All right. Peace.